Good afternoon. My name is Seth Butner, and I have the honor to serve as this year's president of Rotary Club of Oakland. Founded in 1908, Rotary Club of Oakland is the third oldest Rotary Club of some 35,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world. We are a community of 300 men and women from all walks of Oakland civic, commercial, and community life, committed to the Rotary motto of service above self. I'd like to welcome you to our 5,329th club meeting. For over 111 years, we have welcomed Rotarians and their guests from around the world to our club meetings. We continue to do so virtually, so if you're a visiting Rotarian or if you're a guest of a Rotarian, please let us know by typing your name and the name of your club into the chat box located at the center bottom of your screen as indicated by the red arrow on the slide you're viewing now. By doing so, we will be able to recognize you later in this meeting. Also, we recommend that all participants view this Zoom by clicking the speaker view button located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And if you have comments throughout the meeting or questions for the speaker, please use the chat button at the bottom of the screen for that as well. And now for our thought for the day, Rotarian Winter Williams.
Thank you, President Sess. Hello, everyone. The quote I've selected today is, "When one door closes, another opens, but we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which is opened for us." This is from Alexander Graham Bell. And it was really interesting to me to learn when I looked up this quote, which has been a guiding principle in my life, that Bell's father, grandfather, and brother had all been associated with work on elocution and speech. Both his mother and wife were deaf, also profoundly influencing his life's work. His research on hearing and speech further led him to experiment with hearing devices, which eventually culminated in Bell being awarded the first US patent for the telephone in 1876. So that seems like an excellent example of making lemonade out of lemons.
Very nice, Winter. Thank you for that. Because we want to remain grounded and focused, we begin our meetings by jointly reciting our vision, which is, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Before we get started with this week's meeting, we have President-elect Dudley Thompson has an announcement.
Thank you, President Sess, fellow Rotarians, and all of our honored and special guests today. 2018 to 19, Rotary International President Barry Rassin of the Bahamas made the environment a priority for his year. He said, "I think this is Rotary's moment to start the conversation. I don't think we're going to get much further than that at this point in time. One of our challenges as an organization is how complex we are and how much we do. Therefore, to get everybody rallied around something, you've got to focus. It will probably take a Rotary president who's going to make this the #1 focus. That will make a difference, and the world will rally around it. But if Rotary is going to be relevant, then we've got to be looking at the environment." We have had several Thursday speakers the past few years highlighting issues of environmental sustainability and awareness of climate change. Our past president last year, Peter Sherriss, started the year with the environment as a priority, although circumstances changed both within the club and throughout the world. At the international conference this year, protecting the environment will become the 7th official area of focus, along with promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water and sanitation and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. The first 5 club leadership has been meeting to develop a program for our next joint meeting. We agreed the meeting will be held April 22nd, Earth Day. The keynote speaker will be RI President-elect Shekhar Mehta, who will be joining us from Calcutta, India. In addition, we will have a speaker from SRAG, the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group. We are still in conversation about a possible joint service project and are focusing on the environment. Each club is doing a short survey of its members, and we're going to be sending out a survey today to all of our members. I'm asking you to reply as soon as possible. It's a short 2-question survey with multiple choice responses. There will be a chance for you to also offer other ideas in that poll or get hold of Seth, Jesse, or me. Thank you very much, and let's have a great meeting today.
Thank you so much for that announcement. So look forward to receiving that questionnaire survey. I think it's SurveyMonkey that Jesse will be sending out. And please respond to that as soon as possible. That'll come out probably after this meeting's over with. You'll have it. So, past District Governor Ed Jelen, do we have any visiting Rotarians or guests?
Indeed, we do, President Sess. Looking out there, and I see that Kimberly Cohen brought her daughter with her today, Quincy. So welcome to Quincy. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that it? We have any other guests? Oh, well, that's great. This week's meeting is so special. It's our annual meeting dedicated to District 5170 Richard D. King Youth Speech Contest. So sit back and enjoy another of our great Civic Thursday meetings where you catch a great speaker, or in today's case, 4 speakers, and get involved with Rotary where service above self exists. And then introduce our speech contest program and our MC for today, speech contest co-chair Rotarian Alex Kaffa. Alex. Let's give him a hand.
There we are. Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Yay. Thank you, President Sess and fellow Rotarians. Good afternoon. Very, very excited to be co-hosting the student speech competition this year. We have worked so hard. The students primarily have put just a tremendous amount of legwork in, and we're excited to have them share their speeches with you. I'm going to go through a few of the logistics fairly quickly. There are students A, B, C, and D. We're keeping them anonymous to avoid any bias. They'll be introduced to you, however, at the end of the competition. And what the students are going to be seeing, as well as you, is the timer's screen. And so you're going to be seeing a split screen with the student on one side and the timer on the other. And the student will be seeing that as well. And the timer screen is what we're doing this year instead of having the holding up the flashcards with the different colors on them to mark off the amount of time. There's going to be no applause between between speakers, and no questions, no comments, no reactions, please, on Zoom. Please do not use the chat feature at all during the student competition. So the speech length is a maximum of 5 minutes. Most of the speakers will be in the kind of 4.5 to 5 minute range. Following each speech, there will be a 2-minute period of time while the judges are performing their scores, their scoring work. And meanwhile, the timer will be recording their time, and all of that information is going to be sent electronically to the teller, who is going to be tracking all the scores and handling the ranking for today's competition. After the final student has spoken as well, there will be about 2 minutes to judge the final speaker. While that's happening, we'll start doing some introductions of all the Rotarians who have made today's meeting possible. With that said, I'm going to read through a few of the rules and make sure I'm on time here. Just briefly, the eligibility for this contest is open to students between grades 9 through 12. They have to attend a high school here in District 5170, which all of these students do. And they're only competing in one club level competition. So they're only competing in the Oakland Rotary contestant slot. The work is their own work, and they developed it themselves. And the work must include the theme or center around the theme of how Rotary opens opportunities, which reflects this year's Rotary International theme. Inside of that, each student can choose any topic that they wish to do so. However, they must incorporate at least one of the principles of the four-way test, the Rotary four-way test. As I mentioned before, the speeches have to be between 4 minutes and 5 minutes in length. If they are under 4 minutes or over 5 minutes, they will receive a penalty. At the club level only, students are allowed to use a prompt of some kind, in this case, a 3x5 note card or index card. If they are using one, they will hold it up at the beginning of their speech against their chest, like so that the judges can take account of that. As the contestants advance throughout the finals today, so one contestant will be the kind of in the number one ranking and will advance. They won't be able to use any other prompts. And there will not be kind of any identification of the speaker or the school during the time that students are speaking. With that said, given the Zoom format, if the speech has significant interruptions or problems and so forth, we may end up stopping that particular speech and then moving on to the next student and coming back to the student who had a kind of a broadcast problem. Hopefully that doesn't happen. With that said, it's time to actually get into the process. And so Sandeepa, if you can prepare to put the timer and student A up on the screen. And what the timer is going to do, everyone, is count the students down. They'll count them down 3, 2, 1. There'll be a blue screen. And at any point, the student, as soon as the blue screen comes up, at any point, the student can start talking. And that's when the timer starts, is exactly when the student starts speaking, not when the blue screen comes up. And you'll see the screen colors change from blue to green to yellow and perhaps to red. With that said, I'm going to turn the show over to the timer and student A.
Thank you, Alex. Welcome, student A. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
What's the first word or words that pop up in your head when you think of teens and social media? I'll answer that for you. You may think laziness or bullying or even distractions, but you're not wrong. In fact, a recent conducted study in 13 to 16-year-olds in England found that using social media more than 3 times a day predicted poor mental health and well-being in teens. I myself am guilty of scrolling through TikTok,
because they can have
TikTok, a popular video sharing platform, until 4 in the morning. Now, it's easy to point out all the ugly reasons why social media is taking over the world. But just like they say, there's a flip side to that coin. Through social networking, we've found organ donors, reunited long-lost friends and families, launched businesses and careers, and we can reach billions of people with just a click. Never before was there guaranteed marketing exposure, or even such a thing as a like button. Social media is powerful, and I can truly say that out of my own experiences. Last August, I started my own passion project called Teens for Healthcare, where the main purpose was to host webinars with guest speakers who worked in the healthcare field, and participants would ultimately get a sense of what it takes to work in healthcare, what careers they want to pursue, and learn something interesting from these opportunities. I plan to host a 2-day conference with multiple guest speakers, but I soon realized that I loved planning and designing the flyers so much that I wanted to continue doing this and expand my reach. I now have almost 3,000 Instagram followers with 3 chapters worldwide, and I've been able to host webinars with guest speakers ranging from general surgeons to psychologists and even to orthodontists. One of the most memorable guest speakers I've had come in was an ER nurse. In just less than 60 minutes, hearing her story and deep passion for her career inspired me to look further into pursuing a career in the emergency department. See, emergency medicine is like a team sport, meaning you also have to adapt a team mentality. You have to drive every action and decision because, well, everything you do can either cost a patient's life or save them. I learned that teamwork is like one big puzzle with 1,000+ pieces, each piece vitally important as the ones next to it, and when put all together, forms part of a bigger picture. A single missing piece leaves it unfinished and can be the reason why your patient may not live to see another day. In the same way, you can think of Rotary as a team sport, an international one, if you will. For over 35 years, Rotary has partnered with organizations such as UNICEF and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to eradicate polio once and for all. They've helped immunize more than 2.5 billion children in 122 countries, reducing polio cases by 99.9% worldwide. By every measure, Rotary's End Polio Now campaign has been a success, and their social media efforts help to increase support and awareness. Rotary is on possibly every social media platform there is known to man: Vimeo, Snapchat, Instagram, the list goes on. And when you incorporate hashtags such as #Rotary or #EndPolioNow, it's known as an effective way to promote your message to a wider audience. Now that's just one part of the jigsaw puzzle. Every volunteer, partner, global health leader, and Rotary member just like you are what makes the End Polio Now campaign as successful as it is today, opening many kids' doors to endless opportunities. One kid may end up being a piano prodigy. Another may find a cure to ending Alzheimer's. Who knows? It's really about the team. The same way that other teens and I are using social media is the same method that's being used to help eradicate a deadly disease. That right there just proves that social media can truly be beneficial to all. I mean, social networking has opened more doors of opportunities than I ever would have imagined. I've networked and met with more healthcare professionals than I've ever had before. Frankly, I think I've met more adults in a shorter time period than in my entire lifespan. It's enabled me to develop an interest in digital design and further my curiosity in medical careers. And most importantly, through social media, I was able to create a global interest group of almost 3,000 teens, just like me, who aspire to work in the healthcare field someday. So yeah, social media is here to stay. Its diverse methods of usage is what makes it unique. And if I'm gonna have the time to start my own cause to better the world, I probably need to start working to curb my addiction to TikTok.
Thank you, Speaker A. Your time was 4 minutes, 52 seconds. And judges, you now have 2 minutes to score. Judges, your time is up. Is speaker B in the queue?
Hi.
Okay. Welcome, speaker B. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Shame. The fear that if we truly let someone see us, we wouldn't be worthy of connection. But does shame connect us or does it divide us? We've all had our experiences with shame and even fear because it allows us to feel empathy, to create connections. Human connections is the fundamental reason for where we are now. It surrounds us and takes shapes in the things we talk about and what we do and who we want to be. Rotary opens these opportunities by creating environments for young adults to experience this. It allows me the opportunity to do things like the speech contest today, where I'm able to share my experiences. Today, I will shine light on how human connection takes form by putting it through the Rotary four-way test. As a Rotarian, what brings us all together is that we value trust, serving and assisting, creating connections. We are all guided by the four-way test, beginning with, is it the truth? Embedded in our 250 million years of evolutionary history, we are predisposed to socialize, to take care of one another, because it was essential to our survival. But creating connections doesn't always come easy. It requires the commitment of constantly inputting effort and time, needing to be vulnerable, having the courage to speak on behalf of our weakness, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary to create trust. And trust is the foundation of creating a strong, honest relationship. Second, is it fair to all concerned? Fairness, when creating connections, derives from acknowledging the presence of each other rather than our own, letting go of our ego, the voice in the back of our head telling us, don't do it or you'll mess it up. Our ego is designed to stop us from being hurt again. But is it fair to you or to the receiver to engage with your ego? No. We have to make the choice to start the conversation, to take the necessary action. Taking the action enables authenticity, letting go of the person of who you think you should be for who you actually are. Being authentic brings fairness, and fairness is vital in strong connections. With fairness comes goodwill and better friendships, and it begins at home. Let me share my experience with you. I was 4 years old when I was told I had a sister who lived in China. She was only 1 year older than me. And that very day she stepped foot in the house, my life had changed. And little did I know she would end up teaching me the most valuable lesson about human connection. But in the beginning, it wasn't easy. In fact, we never stepped foot in each other's businesses. We never clicked. But 3 years ago when we moved, things started to change. We began talking more like friends, and this time, instead of being isolated in our own rooms, we were exactly 6 feet apart. I measured. One day, we had an unexpected conversation that led us to opening up about our childhoods. Being vulnerable wasn't pretty. We were bawling our eyes out, sharing our deepest, most intimate secrets with each other. But it strengthened our siblinghood so strongly. We can comfortably share our experiences together, offer support and guidance when we need help, and we're truly the closest we've ever been. Being vulnerable opened many opportunities with me and my sister, much like how Rotary opens opportunities. During the Rotary speech contest, I gained the experience of writing a speech that not only am I proud of, but shows me what I'm capable of. The growth I gained by pushing through my comfort zone and committing to something I've never done before. The last four-way test asks, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Absolutely. Connections always have been and will continue to surround us. This is the main principle of life. This is how our world is shaped. but being able to connect requires honesty, shame, fairness, vulnerability, the emotions that need to be talked about more because that leads to growing greater connections, standing up for what you believe in, striving for your passion. And that is worth fighting for. This is what Rotary stands for. Thank you.
Student B, thank you. Your time was 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Judges, you now have 2 minutes to score. Judges, your time is up. Is student C in the queue, Sandeepa?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Welcome, Speaker C. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Having the power to lead and knowing how to use one's ability to lead are innately two different things. If an individual or entity possesses the abilities to lead a population, they must also be able to determine the best way to positively influence the individuals who are being led and the community around them. For Rotarians and interactors, Rotary provides guidance as to how to lead morally. Rotary's emphasis on the four-way test provides a baseline or a foundation for members to begin their leadership journey. In contrast to the moral leadership guidance that Rotary provides, currently hundreds of thousands of Uyghur Muslims in China are being forced into re-education camps, or even worse, becoming the victims of genocide. The Chinese government, in an effort to change the narrative of these events, provided false information to its people. And in this scenario, the government failed to be transparent to its people and failed to tell the truth. On January 6th, the former president of the United States addressed citizens of the US and perpetuated lies about the recent democratically certified election, influencing followers to storm the Capitol, injuring dozens of police officers and leaving a total of 5 dead. The reason why we teach students and children history is to allow them to learn from the past and avoid repeating mistakes. And in both scenarios, the leaders led well, convincing groups of people to carry out their vision. However, Those followers were led with the wrong sense of direction. And just because a leader has charisma and vision doesn't mean the leader possesses the morals and the moral fortitude to make the people around them safer and the world a better and more ethical place. To reiterate, unlike the aforementioned scenarios, Rotary provides opportunities for students to become empathetic, charismatic, and compassionate. Rotary provides opportunities to interactors to become the leaders of the next generation, leading by the four-way test and leading with ethics. Speaking on how Rotary has inspired my leadership journey, I am so grateful and fortunate to have been a part of Interact and Rotary for the past 4 years. And throughout the years, every event that I attended, fundraiser or service event my team and I organized, and every conversation I had with a fellow interactor served to make me more confident and inspire me to ingrain the idea of service above self in my mind. And coming into high school, I was a little bit more on the introverted side, talking with few people. However, in my freshman year, I attended Interact's Fall Leadership Conference. And meeting and talking to dozens I have never met before, building goodwill and long-lasting friendships, and watching thousands of students scream their heads off for the reveal of the projects of that year spurred my passion for Interact and my passion for leadership. And this experience eventually manifested itself in the form of extroversion, inspiring me to go into student politics and run for the position of class president. And I am so proud to say that for the past 3 years, I've represented and led my class of over 550 students as class president, thanks to Interact. In addition, Rotary has allowed me to explore and develop new passions. And I always believed that I would take after my parents and go into more of a STEM-oriented field. However, last year, I was given the opportunity at an Interact fundraising event to perform stand-up comedy. And FLC helped me build my confidence. And Rotary gave me a platform to try out something I truly love doing. And because of Rotary, I want to perform more stand-up comedy in the future and pursue this as an actual career. Revisiting the idea that Rotary gives students the opportunity to learn both leadership skills and morals. Rotary's motto of service above self promotes empathy and compassion, and through Interact service events at the Fremont Homeless Shelter. Seeing those less fortunate than me and considering the four-way test idea of is it fair to all concerned allowed me to empathize with the homeless, understand their struggles, and see beyond my bubble. And this service, along with the other leadership opportunities that I have gained over the years with Interact and Rotary, have helped make me a more complete person. But going back to the idea of is it fair to all concerned? It is not fair that some don't have homes while others have more than they could ever spend. And it is not fair that minority communities are suffering disproportionately to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. But Rotary provides students and adults alike the opportunity to think beyond themselves and lead with empathy and morals according to the four-way test, making the world a better and more ethical place. Thank you so much for listening to my speech.
Thank you, Speaker C. Your time was 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Judges, you now have 2 minutes to score. Thank you, judges. Your time is up. Speaker D, are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I learned English when I was 7, which is much later compared to native speakers. I didn't find myself related to either with this language or people who spoke in this language. And because nobody else can speak English, I can't speak it either. How could I remember what preposition goes where? The difference between adverb and adjectives, when present tense means future tense, and so on. 2 years later, I came to know that we were going to migrate to the United States, where I need English every day, all day. On the way to the airport, I began to realize that some things were going to change. Then everything changed. During the first months living in this entirely unfamiliar place, I felt completely out of place. I didn't understand what others were saying. The words they delivered sounded strange and didn't make any sense to me. Moreover, I'm conscious of my weird accent. However, I did feel the support that my new classmate offered. The support of my classmates built and strengthened our friendship. By the time I graduated from elementary school, my English got much better. Yet, I didn't feel that it was enough. Why? I dream of speaking in both English and Mandarin placidly so that I can be a translator. This thought floated in my mind when I was in hospital. If you ask me why I was in a hospital, that will be a long story for another time. In the hospital, I observed a translator interpreting English to Mandarin and Mandarin to English for the doctor and my family. I believe that if I can speak in these two languages fluently, I can be the interpreter for my family as well as anybody in my community. It will be beneficial to all concerned. Slowly, this idea starts to crystallize and become clear. In my freshman year, I become acquainted with the Interact Club in my school. I'm very interested in joining because that would have given me chances of helping others in the community. Without hesitating, I joined Interact. Although COVID impeded the club from offering more activity, Interact informed me of the Rotary speech contest that grabbed my attention right away. Rotary opens great opportunities, I thought. It's an excellent chance for me to learn more about how to give a speech and increase my confidence of speaking in the public. It will definitely open up new pathways for my future. When interpreting, not only does it build relationship between those two people, but also my connections to them. It will certainly develop goodwill and foster friendship. The interpreter will have the responsibility of illuminating the truth to both sides. My involvement with Interact and therefore Rotary opened this opportunity for me to give speeches so that I can develop and practice my communication skill with the aim that I can be a step closer of becoming an interpreter. The bridge that I will build with others will have Rotary in its core foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker D. Your time was 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Judges, you now have 2 minutes to score.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Now that we're all done, I would like all the Rotarians to join me in giving all the students a big round of applause.
Unmute everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. That was really that was such a treat. We've been working so hard, the students and all the committee members who I'm about to introduce, to get to this point. And let me tell you, there's been just extraordinary progress and we're so proud of them. I'm going to introduce the students to you in a little bit once we have the scoring done. But in the meantime, I'm going to introduce the committee to you. And so on the committee, this Rotary Youth Speech Competition Committee this year was my co-chair, Barbara Beery, Davo Sarkar, Riza Hernandez, CJ Hirschfield, Greg Annis. There were also a number of other roles that were filled by Rotarians from the general club audience today, including the timer role that you've just seen being fulfilled by Jenny Ring, the teller who's working very diligently behind the scenes, compiling all the judges' scores, and Jim Bussenecker is the one serving in that role, and all the judges. And Greg Annis is going to be introducing the judges to you in just a moment. I just wanted to say that if you thought this was an interesting thing to work on, and you would like to be a mentor or actually, we haven't talked about mentors yet, but a judge or a timer or teller next year, then that we would welcome that very much. And now Greg Annis is going to tell you a little bit about the Rotarians who have been working very hard in the background to make today's event successful. I'm turning it over to Greg.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. The teller was Jim Bussenecker. Jim is retired after working 40 years as an accountant and financial analyst for the Chevron Corporation. In his career with Chevron, speaking abilities were extremely important in every position he held, including arguing the company's position on issues with outside auditors and also explaining complex accounting features to those within the company. He joined Rotary for the fellowship and to get involved with helping our community. The timer is Jenny Ring. Jenny has worked with youth and family advocacy programs for 25 years. This work has helped youth gain access to education in order to thrive, grow, and develop. Jenny joined Rotary to meet new people, make connections, support Oakland businesses, and to give back to the community. Judge number 1 is Garrett Reed. Garrett is a semi-retired trial attorney and occasional substitute teacher for a private high school right here in Oakland. When Garrett addresses a judge, jury, or even a classroom, he needs to be enthusiastic, focused, and calm to present new or complex ideas. Garrett joined Rotary over 25 years ago and believes that this speech contest is a great way to share ideas and spread friendship and understanding. Judge number 2 is Carrie Hamill. Carrie is a recently retired BART Assistant General Manager. She spent 8 years on the Oakland School Board, and both of her children are OUSD graduates. She has been a resident of Oakland since 1989. She is a proud Rotarian because she enjoys service and community participation. Carrie says mentoring young people who are beginning their career journey is a great way to have fun. Judge number 3 is Garrett Anderson. Garrett B. Anderson is a pastor and an attorney. Garrett believes effective communication is essential, as it is the primary way societies are built. Freedoms are afforded, rights are protected, and liberties are ensured. As a third-generation Rotarian, Rotary's mission is in Garrett's blood, and he is participating in the speech contest because he believes if you can help a young person, you can change the world. Judge number 4 is Melvis Medunazim. Melvis is an English language teacher, motivational speaker, and student mentor. Melvis states that it is imperative that we impressively speak in order to attract and arrest the attention of the listener so as to achieve the desired goal. Joining Rotary enabled Melvis to pursue the burning passion that he has for community service. Judge number 5 is Stephanie Kazenza. Stephanie has been an active member of the Rotary Club of Oakland since 2010, serving on our club's board of directors and the ORE board, chairing the Hope Committee, and participating in other committees. When she's not serving Rotary, she is the development director for Lutheran Social Services of Northern California, which alleviates and prevents homelessness in this region. Thank you to all who volunteered for the speech contest.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, now I get to have the pleasure of introducing the students to you and telling you a little bit about their background. And then I'm going to talk with you about a pretty significant change that we made this year in the structure of this program that we're excited to carry forward into the future, that the committee and I made. But let me start off with the students that did all the hard work today. And I'm going to introduce them in the order that they spoke. Student A, if we can get student A up on the screen. Let's see, there she is. Okay, and everyone say hi to Maya Nguyen. Maya is a sophomore at Alameda High. And when she's dreaming about college, she's dreaming about going to Stanford. One thing that makes her really happy is reading. And so interesting thing about Maya is when she's reading the right book, she could read forever and ever. And kind of instead of, when you're reading, sometimes you're hearing it, but for Maya, when she's kind of seeing the words on the page, she's also having kind of a movie playing. And it helps that sometimes she pictures herself as the main character, and even reading just a few pages and even 10 pages makes her feel very productive and like she's really, having fun and being smart at the same time. So that's Maya, and you also learned that she is she's been very active in developing her own health-oriented broadcasts using Instagram and other podcasting options, as we talked about, or she talked about. Grace Tan is student B, and let's get student B up on the screen, giving a speech called The Foundation of Human Connection. Grace lives in San Lorenzo and is a student at Oakland Charter High School. And how many of you were guessing she is a freshman this year, dreaming already of going to Harvard, and knowing that one thing that makes her really happy is knowing that no matter what she does, she will always be successful in the end. Student C is, let's get student C up on the screen, Alvin Wang. Alvin is a junior at Mission San Jose High School, also dreaming of going to Stanford. And in his spare time, Alvin loves being outside. Loves going for runs on the nearby nature trails, biking up to Coyote Hills, and kind of throwing a Frisbee back and forth with his friends at his favorite park. Being outside in nature really kind of helps him appreciate things and makes him comfortable and allows him to relax. As you also know, he has been from his speech, he's been the student body president at his high school for 3 years. And Interact was a huge piece of what helped him kind of helped him from being kind of starting off as a more introverted young man, and then over time having leadership opportunities through Interact and realizing that he really enjoyed that experience and rising to become student body president, does a lot of speaking. Student D, what is Peiwen Lin? Let's get Peiwen up, there she is. Hi Peiwen. And Peiwen's speech was entitled Being Bilingual. Peiwen is a resident of Oakland, and she goes to the American Indian Model School, AIMS. She's a sophomore, and she's been dreaming about Stanford. one thing that makes her really happy, I think in addition to really having mastery and develop some real mastery in giving public speeches, right, Pei Wen, is drawing. She loves drawing by herself, including on her tablet and her computer. And for her, part of it is she enjoys the process, but she also just feels very proud when she's kind of finished a drawing and she can look at it. So that's a little bit of background on our students today. And now I'd like to talk with you about the key change this year that we made in our committee. And that was that, you know, we kind of looked at our experience, looked at what was going to be different this year and having to do everything over Zoom. And we decided we were going to do two things. We'd have a central, kind of a central curriculum. But most importantly, we decided we were going to create a one-to-one mentorship with pairing one student up with one experienced public speaker to help them get the benefit of that person's experience and the support that they were able to offer. And let me tell you, that was a tremendous success this year. And to tell us a little bit more about what that experience was like, Riza Hernandez, who is one of our mentors, is going to explain a little bit about her personal experience, but I'm also going to introduce the other mentors this year. And so starting in the order that how the students presented, Maya Nien's mentor was CJ Hirschfield. And Grace Tan's mentor was Riza Hernandez, who's going to be speaking in just a moment. Alvin Wang's mentor was Greg Annis. And Pei Wen Lin's mentor was Debo Sarkar. And all of these mentors invested countless hours in meeting one-on-one with students, meeting with the students and the entire team of mentors and committee members during speech rounds that we were doing in practice for the weeks leading up to this event. And for us, it was just a tremendous pleasure to be supporting our students in their growth as public speakers. And to speak a little bit more about what that experience meant to her, I'd like to turn the stage over to Riza Hernandez.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, I'm Riza Hernandez. I've been part of the Rotary Club of Oakland for 4 years, and this was the first year I've been involved with the speech contest committee. My business has been especially busy over the last year, but the commitment was just for a few months, December through February. So I thought it's totally doable. This year was a bit different than previous years, as you heard Alex say, where each of the contestants were paired with a mentor. Now, I've mentored several high school and college students before, but this was very different. It was quite a journey, actually. Guiding a student through their self-discovery and truly being there for them, creating a safe space to allow them to be vulnerable and seeing them thrive. And because I too have some experience with this challenge, it allowed me to share techniques that I've learned and continue to use, how to authentically tell my story, strategies that allow me to overcome nervousness, that allows me to ground myself and return to my presentation, visualization techniques. Imparting these little nuggets that I've learned, I was given a space to share my public speaking wisdom. And the reward, well, you saw here today. That is why I became a Rotarian. And that's why we're all here, to connect with someone, to truly connect and make a positive impact in their lives. In the words of Dalai Lama, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects, just like ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into water. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Riza. And now we're going to go through the scoring. This is the big moment, the big reveal. Can we get, Riza, can we get student C's camera up on one screen. And so this year, Rotarians, we're going to announce just a single first prize winner. That first prize winner is Alvin Wang. He's going to be receiving the $100 club first prize and will be advancing to the next round of competition, I believe at the district level, or the area level. And the runners-up will be receiving their prizes offline. Obviously, we're hoping that the prizing and the prize money and the ranking is really kind of secondary to the experience of learning how to memorize a speech and then give it. So we're going to be taking all the judges' feedback and going through a kind of a debrief session with all the students, and then the students and mentors themselves will probably do a one-on-one debrief as well. But I wanted to offer really kind of congratulations to, let's get students see Alvin's screen up on the, is he up on a split screen, Sandeepa? There we go. Okay, great. Congratulations, Alvin, on the first place for the student speech competition. Congratulations, everyone, to all the students who really, really worked hard today. Alvin, I'm going to put you on the spot and just ask you if there's anything that you'd like to say about what this experience has meant to you. We have, actually, I'm sorry, we don't have time for that. I need to turn it over.
Let him go ahead and say it right now. Let him go ahead and say it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you so much to Greg for all the help that he's given me, and thank you so much to Alex for all of your inspiring advice. And I feel like through this program, I have become a better public speaker, and I've just learned a lot from this program. And even though this program wasn't very long, it was 6 weeks, I think. In this 6 weeks, I've learned so much about public speaking and how to enunciate my words, how to use hand gestures. So I'm just so grateful for all of Oakland Rotary and for this experience.
Wonderful. I want to give a round of applause for the winner of the speech contest and all the students that we've had here tonight. Thank you, Alex, for emceeing the program for today. Thank you, Rotarians, for everything you did. Thank you, Winter, for the thought for the day. Thank you for Alex and all the members of the speech contest committee. Before I wrap up, Jesse, we have bell ringers, or do we?
We do. We have 6 bell ringers.
Right.
Laura Padilla Marcus rang the bell for Barbara and her committee. Debo rang the bell twice for Barbara and Alex, one for Barbara, one for Alex. Joe Garakla rang the bell, congratulating the speech committee. Fred Morse rang the bell to Alex and everyone involved with this fantastic experience. And you rang the bell for Alex, the committee, and most importantly, the students. You did a great job.
Yeah, great job, students. No question about it. And once again, thank you so much, Alex and Barbara, for bringing this program back to us again in a unique way, an inspiring way, and a helpful way to the children. We really appreciate this, the students. So I'd like to end this meeting as we always do, and that's the way it went at the 5,329th Club meeting on February 25th, 2021 at Oakland Rotary number 3, the third oldest Rotary Club in the world. This meeting of the Rotary Club of Oakland is adjourned.